I
I'm
already
just
pushed the button.
kidding. Oh,
We're
oh,
oh, we're live. We're
oh,
live.
fuck.
We're good. We're good to go. Not that anybody's viewing right now because everybody else is either on the Ralph retort or what's the other stream that's going?
I don't know. There's tons of post
Badgers.
SPJ
The
discussions.
Badger.
Yeah,
Oh
Badgers.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Badgers is going to draw in a lot of crowd, but yeah, I wanted to discuss this anyways. So obviously today it was the Society of Professional Journalists Airplay panel, both of them, and what a fucking ride, you know. So okay, Jamie.
Yeah.
So you woke up early to catch this.
Yeah, probably about 6:30, 6 o'clock, something like that. It's all blur. Our time. So
Yeah, our
6:30
time.
a.m. and it's now 3 p.m.
Yeah. See, I actually my alarm was set for 6. I slept in, and that didn't work. Ro, are you aware you're muted?
Yeah, I know. Dude. I'm eating.
Oh, okay.
He's being courteous.
He's being courteous. Okay. I don't know if I'd use that word to describe him, but
I'm
Man,
trying to be
my
optimistic.
mouth is full of fucking pizza. Just leave. I'll say my piece in a minute. Fuck.
That's why we need a camera of just him while he's muted in the corner, just silent eating pizza to our discussions.
yeah. Why don't you do that, Ro? No.
Don't
Anyways,
tempt him.
don't tempt him.
Oh no,
Uh,
I've got a sombrero that I bought yesterday because you get like a sombrero and then you get free tequila.
Really?
Well, it was buying a bottle of tequila and then you get a sombrero.
Okay.
That's amazing.
That is rather amazing, actually. Yes. Okay, so yeah, I woke up. I was set to wake up at 6. I woke up, and then I went right back to sleep. And then at 6:50, I was out the door so fucking fast because I was going to go over to Q's place to watch on his TV there.
Hmm.
And so the morning was full of a lot of nodding and like, yeah, that's a really good point. That's like that kind of stuff. And then the afternoon was a little bit of yelling, a little bit of clapping, and uh, there's that one point right when like everybody got interrupted and you could hear they're evacuating the building, and I got up out of my chair and I started like, what?
I didn't realize it at first because I was so used to Milo just getting interrupted every single time he spoke that I thought he was just getting interrupted again.
You know what?
And,
You know what it was is actually I'm looking at this from Koretsky's perspective here, and I think he kind of views Milo as like a young upstart, and he's just not having much patience with it.
oh, I mean, do you want to get into the second one right away? Because I don't know.
Yeah, can we talk about the first one? You know,
Yeah, let's
the one
start
that
with the
actually
first one.
got stuff going.
Because I have a lot of strong opinions on how the second one was handled, but the first
Yeah.
one, yeah, let's go in order, I guess.
Okay, all right. So let's start with the first one. So I recognized almost nobody on stage, to be honest. There was Alum, obviously, and like Alum's been in this since day one, so like I did recognize him. Mark Seb, I have no idea.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just not familiar. I had no idea who he was. Ash Shao, I was familiar with her name, but I thought she was like an anti.
Yeah, well, there was all that talk about neutrals and antis coming, and I remember there was one anti that was supposed to come, and she was a writer, and like I can't remember her name, but they have like very similar like profile pictures. Like if
Yeah.
you look at their Twitters, and I never heard of Ash before this either. I've heard of Mark, though I've never followed him. I've just
Mhm.
seen the occasional tweet. I can't follow too many people or else I get flooded.
Yeah.
But I mean, after watching that, even though I never heard of Ash before this, like she is awesome,
Yeah, dude,
absolutely
I was
awesome.
thoroughly impressed. She made a lot of really good points.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, did you guys watch stuff? Well, when they're all outside the building
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Derek's Periscope.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure, for sure.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was pretty good. She's not hard on the eyes either, so there's that.
Misogynist.
Yeah, that's all me.
Just compliments. Jeez.
Compliments.
Well, you give her a slop shot, wouldn't you? Yeah.
All right, on stream.
I'm staying
On
out of
stream.
this.
On stream. There we go. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, no, and then Derek Smart, like everybody seemed to get really upset when he said gamers are unhinged, but you got to look at the context in which he was saying that, right?
Uh,
Like,
yeah, you
we
go
we
ahead.
value escapism. We dig ourselves into these trenches and fucking, we'll play Final Fantasy for 110 hours to get
Mhm.
every little possible thing. It takes a certain amount of obsession to do that, and I think that's what he was getting at with that. He wasn't necessarily insulting us; he was just describing us.
Yeah, I think what happened with that because it caught me off guard and I was put off by it at first. And it was really weird because I never really followed him, but before going into this, I heard a lot of negative stuff about him actually. That he was like, I can't remember exactly. I don't want to paraphrase it, but I just remember him being like kind of wacky and stuff, and not like people didn't want him there. But then this is my first time actually like hearing him speak, and like every single thing he was saying, I'm like, oh my God, this guy's like neutral, but he's just blowing it away. Like
Yeah,
more than anybody there, he's blowing it away. And then he said the unhinged comment, and that put me off at first, but I think it was just poor wording on his part because he
hmm
elaborated later on. I think if he would have used something like they're full of conviction, or they're very passionate and they're very dedicated in like one set focus or something, but it was
yeah.
just his because like when I heard unhinged, I was like mentally unstable. Like, is that what you're calling us? Like, that's what it kind of sounds like. I think a lot of other people thought it was like, are you calling us crazy?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, and that was
but
the
no, he didn't mean
general.
that.
Because when he said that, they're like Twitter went alive. Like, because like I think you were live tweeting too, weren't you, Jamie?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
was really taking, I was live tweeting the whole time and
yeah,
posting like really quick reactions. And at first, I was really put off by it, but then when he explained it, yeah, I think it was just poor wording.
yeah, for sure, for sure. But one thing that I really want to like commend Derek Smart on is how he characterized the relationship between the Zoe post and the larger Gamergate thing, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of people have used the thing, oh, it's like the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in for World War One. That's how you compare it. The event didn't cause World War One, but it was the catalyst of World
Yeah.
War One.
Yeah.
And I think his analogy was much better. It's like when the cops respond to a noise complaint and they find drugs.
Oh yeah.
And
Hmm.
that, like, I was like, yeah, man, that makes a hell of a lot more sense to me, right? So, and that was a really great analogy. And they find drugs there. It's no longer about the noise complaint, right?
Hmm.
So like the Zoe post, and that was the noise complaint of this larger kind of scandal and like all that,
Yeah.
and because I really connected with that, right? But like he said quite a few things during the course of that was really good. Like he was bringing out like reminding people that like for all the articles that Kotaku and Polygon have written, it wasn't just the author doing it. Somebody vetted this. Somebody fact checked, quote unquote, this.
Yes.
Yeah, well, before it gets published, it has to go through their editors, which it
Yeah,
went through and got the go-ahead.
yeah,
And one of the things that bothered me about the entire SPJ Airplay thing was at the end of the first half, the morning half,
yeah,
they mentioned that they didn't even get a chance to talk about Game Journo's pros, which is like fucking huge. That's like
yeah.
Yeah, that was one complaint for the whole first half for me was
they didn't even say it
they
in the
had a lot
specs
of
either.
sorry. Oh yeah, well, fuck, we'll get to the second. But
Yeah, sorry.
I think with the first part, they were giving these good examples, but they weren't video game related examples. And it's like, guys, these are great examples, but I mean, we don't have that much time. And there's so much more you could talk about in the video game space, but they were talking about the Rolling Stone stuff and all that, and it's like, yeah, that's really big, but video games. And I saw other people complaining about that as well, and
Well,
yeah, I don't know why they didn't talk about the gamers are dead and all that.
well, like, you got to also keep in mind the perspective from this. Like SPJ wasn't made for Gamergate. It wasn't for us. It was for the Society of Professional Journalists,
Right.
Well, on
right?
that point, then like the mention of Game Journo's pros, a mailing list
Yeah, that should have been a
that should have
major
been
thing
like a top
that was
point.
brought up. Absolutely, right? But I like one of the big things that I found, and even I found myself guilty of this, was getting pissed off at Koretsky at various times throughout the thing because he was like interrupting people or he was doing this, but then after I had a chance to think about it, I was like, wait, no, that's for the SPJ. It's not for us. It's not for gamers. It's not for people who already understand this, right?
Mhm.
And anyways, yeah. So I'm going off on a tangent here.
That's fine.
Yeah, and on the other side, we had Lynn Walsh, who worked for, what did she work for?
Hold on. Let me
She
bring this
doesn't
up.
she run like an independent inquiry group or whatever for the SPJ in San Diego or something like that?
NBC San
Maybe,
Diego
Yeah.
investigates.
maybe, but I also think that she's like because Koretzky made a lot of allusions to her, giving people stories to investigate kind of thing, right? So I think she's kind of like, yeah, okay, hold on, Twitter Walsh. Okay, wow, NBC. Okay, so she works for NBC.
Mhm.
Um, and probably like passing down a lot of their stories and stuff like that, right? Okay, yeah. But she said a few things that were totally supportive of us as well.
Oh,
Um,
fully. There was that one quote that they already made into a photo, where she said like us unearthing information and finding it out and digging it out is like totally fair game, and she thinks it's a great idea.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. And what is it? There's one quote from her that I really liked. It's like, where did I write it? I wrote it down. If you characterize someone as a terrible person, they're going to want to defend themselves, right?
mhm.
And that's a lot of what the reaction to the Gamers Are Dead articles are about, right? It's just like, no, like we're not this problem class. Like, come on, like that kind of thing. Now the other guy, Ren Laforme,
Yep.
I think his name was. Now I have no clue who this dude is, to be honest.
No, even afterwards, I couldn't really find him. I couldn't find people like linking his Twitter or anything.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So like I've never heard of him. So I don't know. It just seems to me that like there could have been a much better selection of people on the even neutral to anti side. You know. Um,
I
I
would have loved
was.
there to be like an actual anti on.
Well, they
That'd been
all
awesome.
said
yeah,
no. They
yeah,
like they Koretsky asked so many. He asked like Steven Totillo, and they couldn't get one. There was one that was like, if you pay for me, and I think they did
yeah.
offer. I'm not
They
sure, but
were.
then even then they backed out. It's just,
Well, no. There's one guy asked for like $30,000 or whatever, right?
oh my God, yeah, I remember that. Wasn't that a Man in Black? Was it? I don't know.
Was it?
I don't want to throw names.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was.
Huh. I don't want to
But
throw names. I think it was.
well, I'm thinking out loud now. I should stop.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And it's funny too because there's one he talks about is like, well, Gawker kind of sucks, but they did do this one story really good, and he's talking about the Manti Teos. I think he's referring to the fake dead girlfriend thing for that
Oh,
football
okay.
player. Yeah, he had like a fake dead girlfriend, right?
Hmm.
But
Who's
on
that?
Gawk, what's that?
Who's that fake dead girlfriend?
Yeah, like a American football player. I don't follow football, so I'm not too familiar with the guy.
As soon as it's sports, I stop paying attention, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
yeah. But yeah, but I guess Deadspin fucking released a story that he was talking about his this dead girlfriend, and she died of leukemia or something, and they uncovered that there was no such person, right?
Okay.
And then they went, did all this kind of stuff, and yeah, and kind of revealed it, and he called that good journalism, right? And maybe it is, but like
it's investigative, but it's still like,
it's still like, who cares?
yeah, it's still damaging to that guy's reputation. And I don't know the full story. I don't know if he did anything wrong.
Oh yeah, I'm not 100% familiar.
But if he didn't, like,
Yeah,
if he's
exactly.
just saying that he has a girlfriend that doesn't really exist, then
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
kind of messed up.
yeah.
yeah. Um, but yeah, for the most part, there were a lot of good things said, mostly by Derek Smart and Ash Chow.
Hmm.
I hope I'm pronouncing her name properly. Shkow? Shkow?
People know who Ash.
Ash.
People know.
Ash. Yeah. Mostly between them, Alan Bakari had a few really good points. But you know what? My favorite part during the first part was when Game Diviner stood up.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes,
That blew me away.
that was awesome. He
Who?
stood up and he's just like, they attack people, they go after people, you
Hmm.
know. like this has to, like, yeah, no, it was just, oh, what was, I can't even remember what the actual quote, but I was like, I clapped. I was like, yes, no jazz hands in this house.
I was hoping Christina Summers would make a jazz hand joke, but
You're gonna make a
because
jazz
she
hands
does so
joke.
much. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, that was really awesome. And I mean, you could kind of hear that he was actually like a bit scared and a bit nervous to go say that, but he spoke with like such passion and like he felt like it needed to be said. And that just reminds me of like I'm not anonymous as well, and I say all this stuff, and I work in the games industry, and anytime like I get flooded with like anti-tweets, which doesn't happen too often, but it has a few times, I do kind of get a sense of fear because it's like, oh my God, they can find out where I work. They can,
yeah.
like my boss I know is on Twitter, and like I don't know what his position is on all this. So, um, but it's
Well,
something you need to do, and it's something that needs to be said. And yeah,
fortunately, I work for a boss that allows me to have my own opinions.
yeah.
Because this has come up. This actually has come up with my work. I got
Yeah,
I
you
had
got doxxed a while ago.
yeah, I had
Oh, seriously?
somebody call my boss back in October. I
Oh
think
my
it was
God.
October, maybe November. It's around that area. Anyway, somebody called my boss. I ended up later on finding out who it was, and it was actually somebody I know in person,
Oh my God.
right? Who overheard. Well, I don't know them. I was loosely acquainted with them through friends, right? And what happened was he overheard me talking about Gamergate. This was right just at the height of like Gamergate harasses women. Oh my God, rah!
Okay, so like October, November kind
So
of.
he was under that understanding. Anyways, I found out who it was. I confronted him about it. We actually had a conversation about it because my boss was like, he actually looked at all my YouTube videos and he was just like, hey, okay, so this wasted about an hour of my time because at the time I had like 3 or 4 videos. I didn't have very much, right?
Mhm.
This wasted about an hour of my time, and there's nothing here that I explicitly disagree with. He thinks video games are kind of stupid. He's more a golfer, right?
Okay.
But like he's like, I'm not gonna fire you for having an opinion, like internet stuff, you know? And that's it, and he blew it off at that, right? So but anyways, so I confronted him. He apologized. He realized that what he had done was wrong, and he was being kind of like on the wrong track, and he just wanted to stay out of the whole thing. You know what I mean? It was and he said that it was a friend of his that convinced him to call.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
crazy.
a friend with a vagina, I might add.
It's crazy how much of the social
That's
justice
absolutely.
mindset and all that comes from just like peer pressure and just like
Uh,
forcing belief that this is the right thing to do,
yeah, for
that this is
sure.
a movement. Like a bit off topic, but when Lauren was doing that Edmonton protest, if you saw that, and like that one guy, she was like, "What's your sign mean?" And he's like, "I actually didn't write this myself." And it's like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, yeah,
You don't
yeah.
even know, you like have writing and stuff on you, and you don't even know what it means. Like Jesus
Like,
Christ!
oh my god,
And
that
so
was
much of
great.
it is that. So much of it is just like this is clearly the right thing to do, and if you don't do it, you're a horrible person.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And like when I was in high school, I saw stuff like that happening too.
Hmm.
Like, oh, you believe in this? Well, you're not cool enough to be an argument. Mind you, I lived in the Bible Belt, so like when I came out as atheist, I was like 17, and it was freaking murder in high school.
Oh God, I
You
can't
know?
imagine.
Oh yeah, no, it was probably safer to come out as gay in that kind of fucking environment. Well, no, it's like because everybody, like people were still kind of like they were really religious, but they were kind of a weird progressive religious. It's weird. They were all like
Mhm.
people. I'm an evangelical Christian, but I totally believe that gay people have the right to, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, right?
You're religious and you allow other people, you just don't allow other
Yeah,
people to not believe in God,
yeah,
kind of
that's
thing.
that's where
Yeah.
they drew the line. That's where they drew the line. Mostly because like I was a full-fledged member of the church at age 16. Like I went to all the freaking Bible boot camps that they had right
Bible
up.
thumper.
Yeah, well, no, I was. I absolutely was, right? And then
Amazing.
what happened is I experienced my first revival, and that changed that. As soon as the people I've known for years were rolling around on the floor speaking in tongues, crying because of some dude that died 2,000 years ago, I was like, okay, I'm stepping back.
I don't blame you.
And yeah, and then I never bothered looking back. It's just not for me. It's for some people, whatever, I don't care, but like it's not for me,
Hmm.
you know. anyways, back on track here. So yeah, we had Game Diviner get up there, and that was great. That was awesome, and he said some really like um, profound things about how like why we're afraid to kind of like make ourselves known, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
But that brings up another interesting topic, which we'll get to later when we start discussing the second part.
Okay.
But yeah, the first part I found it very therapeutic. It was very very positive. I liked how it flowed. Right. I'm not going to say I agreed with everything that was said, right? But for the most part, I was generally okay with it, right?
Yeah.
I was even tweeting. I'm just like, the first part was therapeutic. This next one's going to be cathartic, you know?
Hmm.
And oh boy,
Yeah.
I actually did not expect him to come in with, well, we got a bomb threat.
Yeah, I assumed there would be one, but it was just like that was the first kind of like, oh God, something bad's coming. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I agree with you that the first one overall was like really good, and a lot of people had low expectations, and I felt like a lot of other people felt this way, where it's like this is gonna be like a gong show, and
It's
then
going
they
to be
saw the first
disaster.
one, and it was actually really good. Like everything went really smoothly. And for me personally, going into the second one, I'm like, okay, now I have huge expectations for this one.
Yeah,
And
and
this was the Gong Show.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
yeah, the second one definitely was the Gong Show because like I was screaming at the screen, I was laughing, I was clapping, you know. I still, you know what? If you ever get that GIF of Christina Hoff Sommers having furries explained to her,
Yeah, because I missed that. I was looking at Twitter
just
and
yeah,
I didn't
It
get to
was
see
pretty
it.
funny.
yeah, you can see the body language because you got both
Her eyes
Kathy.
just opened up.
Oh yeah, you got both Kathy and Milo like moving their hands around trying to explain it, and then all of a sudden you just see your hands shoot up in the air like too much information. It was so great. I was laughing so hard. It was awesome.
Oh
Um,
my God.
but then you got like, and then you got to see like the combative side of Koretsky. You know, um,
Yeah.
where he was like now like I actually felt really bad for Kathy. You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
she got
Yes.
interrupted like on her opening statement.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
just
that's when everything went downhill,
yeah.
because they all did their introductions, and this was my biggest problem. And I'm sorry, but first off, like for Koretsky, it's like I'm so happy he did this. I'm so happy all the time he put in, but I thought he was an awful mediator, if you want to call it that. And
I think he's yeah I'd agree with that. I think he's a little bit maybe not as socially savvy as he thinks he is.
but he opened up with saying that Gamergate had a problem that this wasn't more like focused, and then he's like, "Well, you're gonna hate this one because it has no script." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm fine with that." But
Hmm.
then, as soon like 10 minutes after he says there's no script, that's when he's like, "No, we're not allowed to talk about this. We're not talking about this.
Yeah,
We're not talking." And I'm like, "What happened to no script? You should
yeah.
just let these people go." Like that's the
Let
exact
them
opposite.
Well,
let
what I
them.
got from that was him trying to keep the discussion towards more mainstream journalism, discussions on that.
Yeah,
Like
and he did explain
that's
himself that way too.
yeah, that's what I got from that. Like I fuck, there was like a lot of the times he interrupted. It was like really you fucking twat. But I understand where he was going with it. I don't agree with a lot of the times he interrupted people, but
Yeah.
yeah, I get it for the most part.
Well, he also had a very kind of lecturing, like I know better than you tone to him. I guess I don't know. Like
Yeah.
that's the best way for me to describe it. But like at the same time, though, I understand where Koretsky's coming from. I understand where he's coming from. This is not an event for Gamergate. It is an event for the SPJ. You know?
Yeah, I kind of get what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
He just did it really, really, really poorly.
And I think he did it with a lack of understanding about what Milo and Kathy and Christina were getting at with the overall like you can't separate the whole social justice warrior culture from this situation.
I also kind of expected more of him at this point because it's not like this is his first time actually speaking to anybody. He's been in like several hours of streams with Gamergate and
Oh, with
Stargone
Alec
and
Campbell and yeah.
yeah, like there's a stream that's like 7 hours long and he's in the whole thing and it's like you think you would
Hmm.
kind of know how to handle these better by this point,
Yeah,
Like,
but at the same time, I can't have any hard feelings against the guy for all the time he did put into it.
yeah, I just think he ruined his own show in the second half. Like, I mean, the bomb threat overall, when everyone got evacuated, was the worst part. But I think if he would have just let them speak, maybe cut them off if they're going on too long, and then go to the journalists and be like, okay, is there anything you can respond to that? And if they were like, no, that doesn't help us at all, then he's like, okay, guys, so you need to be more clear. But like, he would just interrupt them immediately. Like, Milo was interrupted every sentence.
Yeah,
Summers barely spoke.
Yeah.
Kathy was interrupted every single time as well.
yeah, he was referring a lot to Lynn Walsh.
Mhm.
Right, and it was actually, you know, what was really cool about Derek during that point was he was keeping Koretsky in line.
Oh my God, it was
Yeah.
That was
brilliant.
awesome.
I saw so many people say, how about Koretsky and Derek swap places?
Yeah,
Because Derek was doing a way better job at his job than he was, and clearly Koretsky has a bias or something. Like, he's wanting to understand something. He
was it
shouldn't
you
be
that
the
made
mediator.
that tweet?
Which one?
That
I
they should swap.
retweeted. Sorry?
Okay, that they should swap places because you made a tweet earlier. Q pointed it out to me. I'm like, yeah, I forget what it was though. Sorry.
I don't know. My favorite tweet that I did was when I was like, it was in the middle of that, and I said something like, here's the summary of part two so far, and it's like Gamergate 5%, journalist 1%, and then 94% Koretsky bitching about everything, and then
Yeah,
also Milo is fabulous because it's like it's
yeah,
true. But
yeah,
no, I think I retweeted that one, and I saw Shu talking about it as well, and you could tell that she didn't know who he was beforehand, but she was
yeah,
watching it,
yeah.
and she recognized that he was being a complete asshole. The as you saw, Derek did as well, and yeah, I don't know. It was just so
Yeah.
delightful.
Well, I'll agree that he's being an asshole. Uh,
Hmm.
unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily make him wrong in his points, though.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time we're like, oh, don't listen to that guy because he's an asshole. But you know what? That guy's advice might save your life one day. And I've seen this 100 times, like just through the course of mine. And I think it raises up some very interesting questions. Like this whole event has raised a lot of questions in my head about like how the overall feeling in Gamergate is versus like how it's perceived versus how it actually like the amorphous blob that it is acts. you know
Hmm.
but yeah, but like I felt like he was pulling Kanye West on the others.
I'm gonna let
you
you
know
finish, but
I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had the best album of all time. you know I think I even made a tweet to that event. Oh, what was great though? What was great though is like almost fucking when Christina Hoff Sommers swore, I was like, yes,
hmm.
She swore?
she swore.
And you do kind of get that feeling of like, Mom swore.
Oh, mom swore. That's totally what it was too.
Oh God.
I even tweeted that out. I was like all caps. Based mom swore. Oh, it was great. It was great.
But I mean, yeah, I do see where it's going, and I was getting really mad, and I might even have a bias as well because like I really really like Summers. All three of them, Milo, Kathy, and Summers. I
Oh
really
yeah.
like, and anytime I see Milo in any kind of debate, I just want to hear him go to town. And there was one point where Koretsky said, "You're just talking about how awesome you are," and I thought, I'm like, I don't really have a problem with that. Just like, I'm okay with this. So yeah, maybe to an outside
Well,
perspective, it is bad, but
I will say that Milo definitely does act like he's our rock star, right?
yeah.
That's not to say that he doesn't at least deserve it in some fashion because he was like one of the only quote unquote mainstream journalists to actually give us a fair shot.
Yeah, right
You
off
know
the
what I
bat as
mean?
well. Yeah.
Right off the bat as well. You know what I mean? And we all we watch a lot of his videos where he's kind of a cocky asshole with all of these feminists on fucking Sky News and all that, right? And it's entertaining to watch for sure, right? But you gotta admit the guy does have a cocky attitude about it.
Absolutely.
Oh, somebody's got a phone. What's going on?
Who's
It's my event to remind me to stream with you guys.
Oh,
So I'm on top of it.
that was half an hour ago.
nice?
I kept pressing snooze, so yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
off
Yeah,
now.
yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, That like like, and a lot of people have a lot of people hate Milo, a lot of people love him, right? I'm of the opinion that when he writes a story, he does a good job of it. He does his research. He looks through, right?
Hmm.
Personality wise, he might be one of those entertaining friends to be around kind of thing.
Well, abrasive, yeah.
A little abrasive, but whatever, man. Some of the best people out there are abrasive,
Hmm.
you know.
As long as you have them on your side, then it's fine, kind
Oh
of.
yeah, man. Hey, man, I used to roll with bikers, man. You don't have to tell me.
Oh yeah.
You stay on their good side, or you don't stay near them at all.
Hmm.
Um, but that's just the thing, right? So I think Koretsky was just kind of trying to blow some of the wind out of his sails because he definitely does act like, yeah, I'm the man, essentially. You know what I mean?
But it's kind of that what's the metaphor? The like unstoppable force, like just colliding.
Yeah,
Because like he's not gonna back down, and then Koretsky's not gonna back down. So it's just them arguing at each other constantly and trying to interrupt each other.
yeah, that's
So
when they got to make a compromise.
yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, when an unstoppable force, or what was it? Uh, an unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
that's it.
A compromise must be made. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
Or
but
that an
yeah, and that,
explosion.
yeah, I uttered an explosion. Um, and that's kind of, I think, what we need to keep in mind from this. Like we are essentially an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object,
Hmm.
right? So, like, I'm not saying like, oh my God, we got to compromise with the antis. No, fuck that. We got to go over their heads. Essentially, is what we got to do.
Hmm.
Um, moving along here, what else we got? I wrote some notes down.
If we're done with part two, we could go to the evacuation.
I'm
Unless
not
there's more stuff you want to talk about.
I'm not
Part two?
quite done.
Okay.
Base Mom said Gamergate has no board of directors. It's a hashtag. And that was like an aha moment. You could see it in the eyes of the other ones, of the journalists. They're like, oh right,
Hmm.
It's like this whole thing that from Kotaku just recently, the Black Lives Matter thing. Or was it? No, it wasn't Kotaku. It was Gawker.
Okay.
No, Hamilton Nolan wrote an article saying, like because of the Black Lives Matter protesters that had crashed the Bernie Sanders rally in
Oh
Seattle,
yeah. Fuck.
right? And basically, now I have to sit here in front of a bunch of racists. That's what the woman had said when she was getting booed off of the stage, right? And Gawker was like, "Yeah, they're idiots. They're morons. That was the stupidest thing that they could do." And then he actually described them like you can't judge a movement based on the actions of a few of their fringe members, rah rah rah, and it's just like, do you not
Yeah.
have any Gawker? Do you not have any sort of like
Self-awareness.
self-awareness in this
Yeah.
Well, we
situation?
already know they don't.
Well, you also got to look in the mind of like individual authors. Like I never actually looked into any of Hamilton Nolan's other stories, right? So I don't know if he is an anti-Gamergate person, or if he's ever even talked about it,
Well,
right? He works for Gawker, obviously, so he's got to kind of like toe the company line, and they don't like us very much. So,
Oh,
but
it cost them millions, man.
yeah, we cost him at least $1 million, um, 7 figures, unless they're including cent values, in which case, yeah, it's still kind of impressive. Um,
mhm.
but like the whole narrative with this, and before we go on to from the point of like we're evacuating the building, the whole narrative is pretty much shot at this point. Did you look at what was trending with SPJ Airplay?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's all
tweeted it
good.
out where it's not a harassment campaign. It's actually about journalistic ethics. It was something
or
like
or something like that. No, it's a consumer movement.
Gamergate is not a hate group. It's a consumer movement. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was trending, and so like people saw that and was like, oh,
I was wondering
okay,
if that was the actual point that made people get angry because that's like in everyone's face, whether you're anti or pro. That was the description right below that.
Hmm.
And just you couldn't ignore it at that point if you were going on social media. It was right there. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and that was really good. Now, there's two camps in GamerGate. From my perspective, there's two camps. There's two main camps. Okay, there's the fucking what they call the ethics cucks, right? And these are the ethics cucks, quote unquote, are the ones that actually do somewhat care about how we're perceived by the media, right?
Mhm.
And then there's the shit posters. Okay. Now there's some crossover in between. I won't deny that I've shit posted quite a few times already. I'm pretty sure all of us have at some point or another.
Mhm.
But I do kind of care how we are perceived in the wider public because I've put a lot of um, time talking about Gamergate, talking about all this kind of stuff, right? And like it's not what I'm all about, but it is one of my major interests. So I do want to see it treated fairly. So that kind of puts me in with the ethics cucks, I guess. I, I
Yeah.
got I got to find other ways to describe this. I don't
Yeah, that's the man.
Cuck is so overused at this point.
I
It's
know.
already lost all meaning. But
I want to go back to 6 months ago when only like 3 people used it.
I don't know. It's weird for me viewing it because what I view is I just follow the people that I like. So
Hmm.
anytime I see someone complaining about drama, I don't really see it. I don't follow the people I dislike, but I do. There's people that definitely just don't give a shit, and they're just there to pretty much own people no matter what. And then there's those that want to have a good reputation. And I don't know, I'm kind of in between that. And then there's the ethics versus SJW stuff, where it's like some people are just only ethics, and then some people are like, we're done with that,
Yeah.
only SJWs. And so I don't know. I kind of fall in the middle of that as well. Like I definitely don't think ethics is entirely done because Gawker's still around. So,
Well, I don't think Gawker's been around for too much longer, especially with Hogan about to sue them.
well, they delayed that by like a year. It's
I
March 2016 now. It's insane.
even then, they're not gonna make enough revenue to fucking fight that. They won't be able to pay.
Yeah, they're out of liability
Yeah,
insurance.
they're done.
Well, I
Like
hope so.
personally, I think like the ethics side after the SPJ Airplay, like I
Hmm.
think that portion of Gamergate is pretty much it's gonna go whichever way it's gonna go. Either
Yeah.
it's gonna give us a fair shake. It's like grab our dick, fucking give it a couple tugs, and we're happy. And just be fair about it.
On stream, bro.
Or
On stream.
oh, I'm sorry, man. Okay, I'll filter myself a bit more. Over there.
God
Fuck.
damn it, EJ, that
I'm not
sounds.
your shield, you ass. Yeah. So, fuck. Now I lost my train of thought. All I can think of is dick.
Well, to elaborate on what you were saying is I saw a few people that were treating SPJ as the end game, and I definitely saw that point of view going into it. I thought it could have been, but now with this bomb threat stuff, I definitely don't think it is. Like if we would have ended it on a nice package and everything would have been tied up real nice, then it's like okay, maybe that can be it and we can move on. Um, but now with the bomb threat and everything, it's just like, do you realize, like, if that was done by people that are against us, I saw Ghazi already condemned it, but I mean, you don't know who did it. So if it was done by somebody that's like very anti-Gamergate, it's like you do realize you just like fueled us for like another year just
Yeah.
by doing this. Like if you would have just let us have our speech and
Yeah.
walk off, a lot of people have been like, and I'm done. But now because of this.
Well, I don't know that it would have changed a whole lot. But what I do think is I do think that it's, and this is okay. This is a prediction. I may be fucking completely wrong on this.
Say it and
Um,
then we'll judge you.
yeah. And actually, I would not be surprised if I get judged for this. But I think it's going to cause a schism of sorts. Okay. I think that this is like this whole event, and like I'm not even talking about the bomb threat. I'm talking about the SPJ event itself. Okay, because basically what Koretsky's saying, like boiling it down to just a single sentence, it's that Gamergate needs leaders. Okay, we don't want leaders.
Yeah.
Okay, At least not with any official capacity. We have
Dude, I was
easel.
about to yell at you. No, we don't.
What's
Okay,
that?
sorry. I was about to yell at you like, what?
No,
But
I
yeah,
don't.
sorry.
No, no, no. I don't think we need leaders. Absolutely not. Nobody should have the authority to direct where frickin' GG goes. You
Mm.
know, that part of GG should remain an amorphous kind of like, yeah, we like we flow where we're needed. You know, like Batman. Screw you, Brianna Boo. Anyways,
Oh God, oh Batman's my favorite superhero, and every time
I
I was
like
just like, please
Batman.
stop, please.
Yeah.
It's just... Anyway,
But yeah, no, I don't think we need leaders. But I do think that we should not be so um, stubborn about allowing, like, not even allowing, but but like appointing certain people who can act as spokespeople.
yeah, I think we're good in that regard actually, because I
Hmm.
mean the people that we sent as like on our behalf to SPJ, like they
Yeah,
were funded in
absolutely.
minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about it, and then it was just funded, all their plane tickets and everything, and it's just I think we're okay with that. I think one problem is even slight, even if it's a minor thing, something that is kind of like, hey guys, we should try to be more like this, and if that has a large disagreement, that person just gets flooded. Like I saw it a few times where a few people were like saying, hey, we should try to be nicer to people that don't understand us, and then that person just gets shit on, and then happens to other people. And I saw a lot of people actually say, okay, I'm kind of distancing myself from Gamergate now because I keep like wanting to voice my opinion in it, and then if I get disagreements, they're not handled in the best way.
Yeah,
So
but
I think being open to suggestions, pretty much, being more open to suggestions within Gamergate, I think would be
well, I think
something.
what it is the people that really object to certain, like I have my ideas on where GG should go. Okay, you have your ideas on where GG should go,
Yeah,
but our individual ideas don't matter. It's the mass
yeah,
essentially, right? That decides where it ultimately goes, and the more support there is from the mass, the more it's going to go that direction, right? But
yeah.
what I do see is a lot of spurging out in terms of a very small minority being very loud about where they should go. Like I see just prior to the meetups, there was a huge group of people that were all like, "No, don't do meetups. Meetups are a stupid idea.
Right, yeah.
It's just going to turn into another project channel." And I think a lot of these people were kind of like the Channer Gamergate, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean by
The
that.
people from the Chans, you know what I mean? And no hate on the people from the Chans whatsoever, but like a lot of them are really stubborn in how they, you know, view where the movement should go. Whereas people that came from Gamergate from Reddit or from Twitter, they have a slightly different take on it because they are not essentially part of Chan culture, so they can't really see the point of view.
And it's been said a million times, but it makes it so difficult with 140 characters. Like
Oh yeah,
you can never be like, I get what you're saying, but I disagree because like that's half of that, maybe even three quarters. So you have to be like, screw you, it's this. You can't. You have to speak with conviction. Like it's not going to work with
yeah,
Twitter, unfortunately. So
yeah.
that's
No, no.
that's nothing really you can do about that.
Unfortunately not. Like we gotta kind of just go where the mask goes. But like at the very end of the stream, like after the bomb threat, after they all had to leave, and when they came back, right, there was a little 10-minute segment. Now you listened to it just before the start of the stream, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So Koretsky came back and he basically thanked John Smith, not his real name, who is an ardent GG supporter, who's actually the guy who contacted Koretsky in the first place and said, "Hey, you should do this,"
Hmm.
right? And he did all the sound stuff, and like I got nothing against the guy, and Oliver Campbell, I guess, did a stream just to vet him, right? and what one of the things that Koretsky suggested is like maybe you guys should think about like making a list of people that are willing to talk to media about GG, but that brings up a whole slew of new problems. Like how do you make sure that these people are vetted by the group? You know,
Hmm.
You can't really do it.
you can and you can't. It's very complicated. It's a complicated process, is
Well,
what it
they
is.
they explained how they usually vet people before they publish their pieces, right?
Yeah.
So they have like a sit down or phone call with them,
Mhm.
and then
Or
the
Skype
journalist,
chat or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, then the editor, like they're the ones that know who they are. Like
Mhm.
when they present the person, it's just their like online tag, and it's basically built on trust between like the media outlet and the viewers, right?
I am willing to, and this is just me here. I am willing to sit down with a journalist. Eat lunch, over Skype. I don't want to do email, to be honest, because you're operating at like 2% communication with emails. It's just text. You can't get the intonations in someone's voice. You can't see the look in their eyes and see if they're genuine about or if they're passionate about what they're talking about. You can't get any of that through email.
Yeah.
I am willing to do that. No problem. I will show them my ID, give them my real identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And put my name behind what I'm standing for here, right?
Yeah.
Because it's been said, and you know what? It's been said a billion fucking times, and it'll probably be said a billion more times, is that, yes, obviously, I do not condone harassment of any kind. It's been said so often that it literally makes my eyes roll into the back of my head when I hear someone explaining it now.
Yeah.
Or
The
when
problem is the opposite side has a very broad definition of what harassment is. To
Oh,
the
yeah,
point where disagreeing with the opposite sex is harassment.
not even the opposite sex, disagreeing with the ideology, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bonus points if it's the opposite sex, though.
Making a character that the masses deem offensive, Joss
You know,
Whedon.
do you remember when they released all those like body positive video game characters, and they released Lara Croft?
Was that the
And
one with Cortana, Lara Croft?
yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, that drove me
Now,
nuts.
it was
Drove
just
me
like,
nuts.
okay, if you actually look at Lara Croft, the character, okay, she is a wall climber. She
Mhm.
can do backflips. She can do all sorts of stuff. She has like freaking
Body karate. It's called body karate.
body karate. There's a good way to put it. Okay, how the hell is she gonna make a fucking 7-foot jump like that?
Yeah, and I mean, even neutrals were criticizing that because it was absurd that these characters, and I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, and they made Sonya Blade fat, and it's like, she's
Yeah.
military. She's a military combatant. Like, are you kidding me? Of course
Yeah,
she would be
bad
fit.
examples.
And even Cortana, which is probably like the most realistic one, it's like, why would somebody program a character to look like chubby? Like, I
And
just like an
and
AI program that's based on a real person, well, a real person in that world.
yeah,
It's,
and the what was it? The Grand Theft Auto 5 girl, like who's like on the cover art. I don't think I've ever run into her in the game.
No.
oh yeah, isn't she the one that's like
The actress, is it the actress that you have to chase?
yeah,
around?
that runs into the tree?
Is
But,
you catch her
but
having sex or
she's
whatever.
based on a real model. Like in real life, they based her whole body on a model.
Oh,
And
okay. So
yeah.
did you say something, Ro?
Oh, I think so.
You can't remember what. Okay.
But you can't say that's like body shaming that the Grand Theft Auto character is not chubby, because that's based on a real person, and
Mhm.
I know that because when Lindsay Lohan was trying to sue them because it looked like her, that was their main proof. It's like, actually it's her,
Yeah.
and it looks identical to her, and we paid her money.
Yeah. It's this
Well,
person.
if they're having such big issues with that, like, then someone, like, I might even do it myself and just redesign all the male characters into, like, a plus 50-pound version of them.
Do
Like,
it!
I want to see a video of Master Chief trying to get into his armor, but his fat's just squeezing out through the sides.
Do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I think I
Do
might.
Do it. We'll send it to the hashtag and it'll go viral.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It drives me nuts, like inconsistencies in like plot, especially with characters I love, because I love Halo as well. And it's just like, but John would never do that to himself, and he's genetically engineered, and it's just like, it boggles my mind.
I want to see Kratos with a beer gut. That'd be good. Well, he drinks a lot. Fuck.
I'll have my revenge after I finish this sandwich. Just,
Exactly.
You gotta put like little pieces of food on his like wife beater.
Oh, yeah, and like
Yeah.
blades are linked with sausages.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God. But yeah, no. So so it was kind of funny when the stream started. It's just like, hey, well, we got a bomb threat. Does anybody want to leave? No, didn't think so. Okay, let's continue. And
Yeah.
then right at the end, like he stops mid conversation, and then all you hear in the background is we're evacuating the building, and I'm like, fuck,
Hmm.
fuck.
I thought it was just Milo getting interrupted again because it was while he was
Yeah.
speaking, and I thought it was someone
Yeah,
interrupting him, and it was like, oh shit, everyone's leaving.
yeah, yeah. And that's like honestly, that's what I thought at first too, because there was a bunch of interruptions happening back and forth there, right?
Hmm.
But like, props to Derek Smart for like keeping Koretsky in line though. Like he was calling Koretsky out a few times, and it's just like, oh shit. As soon as
Oh.
Koretsky realized that he's getting called out on both sides, he was like, okay, gotta change my how I'm approaching this here.
I
You
almost
know,
forgot that woman that called out, like when he kept interrupting Kathy Young,
stop
and
interrupting her, and he gave
it was like, let her finish.
yeah,
I was clapping so hard. Just,
yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure I was too, actually. You know, um, but yeah, and then like we're like scrambling, like what's going on, what's happening, and then we went on Sargon's stream after that. Right.
okay.
We hopped right onto Sargon's stream, and it was just as Sargon had discovered Derek Smart's live stream from his phone.
Hmm.
Right, so we watched that for like freaking hour.
Hmm.
Basically, the cops just kept telling him to move further down the street, and people started, yeah, hanging out on an abandoned property, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In front of an abandoned house.
it was so awesome of Derek to do that as well because like he's wasting his like possible data and his battery and everything just to show people what's going on because for me it was like all of a sudden the stream just stopped and it was like and silence and it was just cut out and I was like what the fuck's going on and I don't know that was just really awesome of him to do.
Um, but yeah, I know they're pointing out the drone. There's like a drone flying overhead.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
And they're like, it's a drone. And okay, you know what was really interesting though, right? There was a post on Gauzy earlier today in which somebody claimed to be a volunteer for the SPJ,
Hmm.
right? Posting
Yeah, I
on
remember you
Gauzy.
told me that.
And then they said there was a guy in a Meninist shirt. And this is before the bomb threat. This is like during the morning that I saw this quote from Ghazi, right? Um, Jessica says hi, Jamie. Oh, okay, you got it.
I got it. I got
You
it
got it.
covered.
You got it. Okay. Um, anyways, yeah. So and he said, oh, there's a guy in a Meninist shirt here, blah blah blah, blah, and they're freaking out about, I guess, Meninists. I don't think they get the joke with Meninists, to be honest. Um, But I was rolling my eyes. I'm like, yeah, it's just somebody full of shit. But then later on, during the live stream, there was totally a guy there wearing a Meninist shirt.
Yeah, a red one, a red shirt. That's
Yeah,
unanimous.
yeah, yeah.
Shorter,
Totally.
like probably like 5'4", 5'6". Pudgy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
What?
Say that again. Sorry, I
Oh
missed
no, I
that
was just
last part.
describing the guy.
Oh,
Brown
okay.
hair, short, like probably 5'4", 5'6", pudgy, red shirt. Said Meninist.
He said Meninist. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't know. All I caught was a Meninist shirt. Um, so there totally was like a pro Ghazi. Well, I don't know if he's pro Ghazi. Actually, I can't say that. I can't say that he's pro Ghazi because he was just posting in Ghazi. That doesn't
Hmm.
necessarily make them pro Ghazi. It just makes them anti GG because we all know that pro GG people can't post in Ghazi.
Hmm.
It's like one of the only subreddits where they actually, when you go in, they check your history.
And yeah, no, I've never posted on Ghazi just because I'm okay. I read it every now and then just to kind of check my own knowledge and everything, just to make sure everything there is still crazy. And I just look at it and it's like, yep, still messed up over here.
Yeah.
Oh man, I should start doing the whole Reddit thing.
Reddit.
Checking it out.
I never
know.
got into Reddit myself. I don't know, it's too vast for me. I prefer Twitter just because I can follow what I want to follow and it's just right there in my face. Whereas
Yeah.
Reddit is just so vast.
Reddit's really topic oriented, is what it is. Reddit is very topic oriented, and Twitter is very people oriented.
Yeah.
You're following the interests of a particular person, whereas with Reddit, you subscribe to a subreddit that's like based on, you know, um, like not safe for work, black tears.
Oh
Yeah,
God, not
guys,
back to this.
don't
Why are we talking
only,
about the Black Tears thing again?
only go there if you want to see what the hell I'm talking about. But we will not mention that.
You just did.
Go look it up. It's great.
It's great. It's great. It's not what you'd expect at all. Anyways, but yeah, it's very topic oriented, and Twitter is very people like following people and following personalities, I should say. You know, but no, and then it was kind of cool during like the live stream after the fact that you caught little like you could see Karen Strawn like
Mhm.
ever so briefly, and then Ash she got a hold of the camera for a bit, and she was live streaming for a bit, and you could see like, oh look, there's Alan Bakari, oh look, there's Milo and Christina, Kathy Young showed up, and she looked like she was boiling, like she
Yeah,
looked
I felt so
so
bad for the older people there because it's freaking Florida,
well.
and they're forced out of here. And sorry, go on.
Sorry, Q was saying that he wanted to actually give them an emergency water shipment.
Well, I saw people actually doing that. Like Oliver was on top of that, and he was like delivering water, and a ton of them just went and grabbed water for everybody, which was really awesome.
Yeah,
Really
so that's
hateful
really good.
community, just going and getting water for everybody as soon as they're out of a building.
Yeah, like it's hot out there. They need water, And it's but that's just the thing. Like how much have we given to charity? And I'm not talking about just like people associated with Gamergate. I'm talking about how much is Gamergate itself actually given to charity that
Yeah,
we can take credit for. At least tens of thousands of dollars.
When you
know what
look
I mean?
at it like really bluntly, it's like Anti has tried to tear so many things down, and they try to
Right.
stop things. Whereas Pro is like, we're supporting games that we
We're
like, and we're
building
supporting
things
developers
up.
we like, and
Yeah.
charities and
And that's just it.
people.
Well,
And
that's
that's
that's the main difference between a pro and an anti. Like most of the pro gamergators have like skills and they've actually done shit.
we're
While
creative
the
types.
antis, yeah, exactly. The creative types. The antis are just fuck. I don't even know how to describe them.
I don't know. Well,
They're
the whole
critics.
thing, like Anti, is based on hating something, and that's all it is. Is just like we disagree with this, and we just hate everything they stand for, and that
Yeah.
shows. Like they never say like, oh, this thing's great. I love this thing. And like the one time they did, like when Anita was liking Swords and Sorcery, it showed they never played games because the sales didn't go up at all for that game.
Yep.
Which
Yeah,
I
that's
thought,
hilarious.
that was so awesome. But yeah, no, I think it was Quinn was talking on Twitter about it, where he
Yeah,
was
too. Yeah.
Q, sorry,
Yeah.
and he was saying how it really felt like you were there with them, and thanks to that Periscope, and that was really cool, and seeing the whole aftermath of that, and yeah, that was crazy. And afterwards, like once they realized that they weren't going to have time, they actually did like Koretsky got everyone together and was like, "Screw it, let's just do it outside and let's talk outside in this abandoned building." And I saw like vines of it, like 7 seconds, maybe 20 seconds tops of like them talking, and I saw one video, but I couldn't really hear it of like Oliver and Koretsky like burying the hatchet, and they like shook hands or something like that. Which
Okay, well that's cool. That's cool.
yeah,
Like,
and
I think there's a lot there's a lot of there's a lot of mistrust and miscommunication and shit that happens, and it's understandable why,
Mhm.
right? But I think it's important to get the fuck over it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
we have before. I mean, if you remember, like the King of Pole Monday mat fights, like there was like drama
Yeah.
every
Oh, with
day.
IA and
Look
all
at
them.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Ian Miles Strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
And
Ian
I
Miles
love that they
Strong,
brought
right
him up
there.
in the first debate. They actually
He
brought
was
him up as like a good example of how to rectify mistakes.
absolutely. I think the guy's done more than enough to fucking prove that he apologized. He said, "I'm sorry for mischaracterizing gamers. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for being part of that." He updated his ethics policy, and you can see just in his general attitude now that he's not baiting, he's not fucking doing any of the stuff, And
Yeah.
so, like, even if, like, and I swear to God, a lot of people may be so anti-Gawker right now that they'll disagree with me here, but even if Gawker were to come around and actually say, yeah, hey, we're going to update our ethics policy, and we're going to apologize, and we're going to stick to our guns on this, and they proved it, I'd be okay.
Oh no,
Yeah.
fuck that. I wouldn't be okay with them. Fucking
I
let
would
them
be
burn.
too, but they wouldn't because like if you watch
I don't
Sargon's
believe it for
video
a
on it,
second they will, yeah,
their
but
whole mission is pretty much being the jerks of the internet.
yeah.
Like what's his name, the owner of the company, like
Nick
that's his
Denton.
thing. Yeah,
Nick Denton.
it's literally just about being a jerk and like going where other journalists won't go.
Yeah.
So they would never. It's like, yeah, I would, but they just won't. There's no way. So
Yeah, but like, and that's just the I mean, like the crux of it is that it's two groups of people that disagree with each other. One of them definitely, like, I'm biased, obviously, I'm part of Gamergate, but like, I see one of them's definitely a lot more mean about it.
mhm.
Whereas, like, with my side, with a lot of the quote unquote harassment, it's just shit posting. It's not even fucking, it's like op post ludes, where they go in and they just fill hashtags with like gay porn and shit like that.
And they
They're
do
having,
that because they're so sex negative as well. Like
yeah,
if
they're
my
having a
opposition was
laugh.
just filling my feed with porn, it's like, all right, great. Just
No,
nobody.
Saved.
I had TweetDeck open one morning at work. My boss came in, and Mercedes Carrera had just retweeted some of her stills
Yeah,
from from a bunch of the screenshots from the movie she did, and he's like, "Are you? What is this?" And I had to actually sit there for about 10 minutes explaining, like, "No, I didn't go looking for it. It appears on the stream." And then he actually like scrolled through most of it, and thank God most of it did not have weird anime porn on it. But
mhm.
yeah, like, I could just imagine that. It's like, why does this animated girl have a penis? And what is that thing that she's putting it into?
It's, I don't know, it's the internet. That's how you explain the internet to people.
This is the internet,
Mm.
you know. And and it's kind of funny how that works, right? But at the same time, like, I don't think there's anything malicious about that. They're just shit posting. They're having a laugh at, sometimes it's someone else's expense, sure, but like, it's not anything new. It's not anything fucking that hasn't been done before. It's just taking a new form, and
Yeah.
people are having a hard time getting used to that. You
But this
know,
is all targeted to piss off the people that don't like boys fighting when they're in elementary school. Like this, like anything will piss them
not even
off.
fighting. It's just like roughhousing, playing rough.
Yeah, yeah.
Boys do that. Like, I fucking grew up in the '80s, man. Like, fucking, like, no, like, we could still roughhouse, and we could still play tag, and we could still play. What was that game where you stand in a row and you gotta like break through the other side?
Oh,
Red,
I remember
Oh,
that.
Red
Rover.
Robin, Red Rover, Red Rover. Yeah, Red Rover, Red Rover. We call whoever over, right?
Hmm.
Like, and you can't play that in school anymore. At least
Remember
not.
dodgeball? I love that.
Dodgeball was so much fun,
I just hated
right?
like I don't know, like we didn't use the foamy balls. We used like those rubber ones that were filled with
Yeah, the
air.
big red ones with
Yeah,
the weird tread
the
pattern on
big
it.
black
Yeah,
eye.
yeah, and you know what? It could happen, but it didn't matter when you were a kid. Yeah, sure, you got knocked in the head. Oh wow, it hurts. You get over it in a couple of minutes, and then you get right back in the game. It was so much like I loved that game when I was a kid.
Did you guys ever play Doctor Dodgeball?
Doctor Dodgeball.
Yeah, that was popular in my elementary school, and it was so awesome. It was just two people on each team were like a healer, and if you
Oh
got
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, if you got hit, if you're one of the attackers, you got hit, you just fall down, and then the healers come in and like drag you back to their square, and it like reses you.
Oh,
It was
Yeah,
nice.
it's
like
like a
World of
respawn.
Warcraft before World of Warcraft. It was great. It was so much fun.
They need to introduce that in LARPing or something. That'd be hilarious.
LARPing Dodgeball. Oh, I'd love it.
I'd play it.
It'd be great. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, no. So it was like, I don't know. It was, and yeah. So it's not just fighting. They're not just after the fucking boys fighting. Yeah, I would step in if a couple of boys were actually like full on like punching each other in the
Oh
head.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
step the fuck in. But if they're playing around, play wrestling, whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, boys get hurt. It toughens them up.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, I went through a lot of my childhood being afraid of being like scraped or hurt or stung by a bee, and I missed out on a lot of shit because of that, right? And then all of a sudden, in my 20s, I'm the bouncer at a bar, and I'm getting in fights, and I'm doing this from the perspective of like trying to protect people, you know. trying to make sure that the patrons of the bar that I work at are well taken care of, that they're having fun, that they're that they're not in harm's way, kind of thing. And as a result of that, I had to get rough a couple times, right? And if I had had a better childhood experience of like playing rough and stuff like that, and like I did get to play dodgeball, and I did get to play Red Rover and all those games that require physical contact, right? And these days, it's gone. We're breeding a generation of weak people.
Yeah,
I
I
prefer.
fully agree with you.
I'm not gonna say weak. I'm gonna say sheltered.
Sheltered, yeah, that's probably a better way to put it.
Yeah, I've got quite a few apprentices that have come from that generation of being sheltered. Like, they live by themselves now, and they don't know how to use a fucking washing machine. They don't know how to fucking cook. Like, oh, you don't have fucking salt and pepper in your house? What are you fucking idiot?
Yeah.
Like, it's just they're not self-sufficient.
It was being a parent that taught me how to cook. My parents didn't teach me how to cook, so I was kind of sheltered in that regard too. But like being a parent kind of threw me. Well, I was a teen parent, right? I had my daughter when I was 17, right?
Oh, okay.
And I had deaf parents too, so like it all kind of like adds up, and there's a lot of experiences that you get to miss out on, right? But like having the kid at 17, that burst me into being an adult. I had to, all of a sudden I couldn't be a 17-year-old. I couldn't do 17-year-old things. I couldn't go out partying. I couldn't, do this. I was just fresh out of the church, and then all of a sudden, I knocked up my girlfriend, who is the daughter of very religious parents, and you can imagine how that went. I got kind of thrust into the harsh areas of life. I had to do all the hard things. There was nobody there to help me. I had to do it myself, right? And I got so used to it that I looked at it as a growth. You know what I mean? It's a learning experience. Right, and I started taking these things as lessons. Like whenever something harsh happened to me, I wasn't going to sit around and say, "Oh, poor me, poor me." I had to act. I had to say, "Hey, no, this is happening for a reason, and I need to identify the reason so this doesn't happen again, or I need to learn a lesson from this and realize why I don't do X thing." And what we're doing right now, especially in schools, is we're taking away that learning experience. To me, that's a form of child abuse.
You know what we should do about that? We should segregate all the kids, just like split them up, men, boys, girls, and then split them up by different shades.
Different shades?
Oh yeah.
Get all the colors of the rainbow in there.
Well, no.
Well,
I'm talking like yellow, brown, black, white. That's about all of them, right?
That'll fix this. That'll fix this whole thing.
I think I agree with you, because then there's no microaggressions, because no one's gonna trigger each other based on race or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
That absolutely, it absolutely blows my mind that you had people like fucking Bernie Sanders back in the '60s, like risking his freedom to stand up against segregation, and then you have the very fucking people who claim to be, I'm totally operating on the behalf of the black community, that segregation is a good idea now. Like, it's come full circle. Like, what was it? Anita Sarkeesian said, has expressed support, at least, for racial segregation in schools.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we're 50 years past that. What the fuck are you doing?
They're trying to make everyone feel comfortable, everyone feel equal, and that's
here's
not
the thing.
how the world is.
No, it's not. Like, here's the thing. I really hate to say this because it sounds harsh and it sounds callous, but it's the reality, is that not everybody is created equal. We do have the right to have equality of opportunity, and I fully believe that. I should have as much right as, a black person or a woman or whoever to get this thing based on merit. Okay? But, we have a generation of people now that are so, lost in their own sense of self and their sense of, who they are and what they can bring to the table, right? That they're saying that, okay, no, the only way to do this properly is to remove merit and have it all based on identity, right? And it's good. as a society, as Western society, it's weakening us. It's making us complacent, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
And
no, we're pretty much just regressing.
yeah, like
Like it's
it sounds nice and pretty and all butterflies and cupcakes when they're talking about it. But when you put a lot of this stuff into practice, it backfires,
Hmm.
you know? And we've seen this,
Yeah.
right? Obviously not in every aspect that, you know, but like look at communism, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the best thing on paper, and then it's always been awful.
Yeah,
It's,
well, it's because communism is incompatible with human nature.
yeah.
It's incompatible with human nature, and and to a certain degree, so is like pure capitalism, right? There, in my opinion, there needs to be a happy balance between the two
Okay.
in order for society to function properly. There needs to be a free market, but at the same time, there should also be, like, for instance, in Canada, we have our socialized medicine. You know, I'm
Hmm.
pretty cool with socialized medicine. I rather enjoy that. You know, because it gives everybody an equal chance at healthcare. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
hence equality of opportunity, right? But like, nobody's guaranteed success. You have to work hard for it.
Hmm.
You know.
well, that's the main issue.
Mhm.
A lot of them do not want to work hard to get where they need to go. Like,
They
I'm
feel like
pretty
they're
sure they don't
entitled to
understand
it.
that they have
They,
to take
they,
their
they,
Lincoln
they,
before they'll get accepted or get like anywhere.
well, they try to take the back door and make it happen through friends, which also works.
Oh no,
But
I'm not shitting on like that type of nepotism. Just like
yeah,
if you have like for myself, if I want to get into like the entertainment industry or like video games or whatever the fuck I want to do,
yeah,
obviously I'm gonna use whatever avenues, whatever networking I can. I will do whatever I can to get there, to get to the point
mhm.
that I want to be at. Now,
I think if you tried, you could do it on your own merit, though, because I've seen your work.
yeah, well, that's besides the point, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't need you fluffing me right now. Like,
Sorry.
you can wait till later when we go for ribs.
Oh yeah,
Um,
ribs.
but no, the point I'm trying to make is a lot of them don't want to have to go through like the viciousness and the competitiveness of trying to like. I think they don't want to learn. They don't want to have to deal with the experience of failure.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that,
exactly it.
I failed so many fucking times. That's the only reason I've gotten as good as I have. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm not willing to fucking try something new and see if I like it or not, there's no fucking point to it.
Like, in order to truly succeed, you've first had to fail a shitload of times to get there. Otherwise, that success is going to be really fucking fleeting because you're
Oh
just going to
shit, I
make the
said something
same.
smart. That's awesome.
Yeah, because you're gonna make the same fucking mistakes over and over.
Yeah,
You're not
pretty much.
learning anything. You know, if something's handed to you, you don't appreciate what you have, right? Why do you think people like fucking, you know, all the indie darlings like Phil Fish? You know, oh, I hate this fucking. I made a game and it got really fucking popular, right? But I hate this fucking industry. It's because he didn't fucking earn his way in. You know?
Yeah, I agree. And
Yeah.
networking is fine. Like,
Yeah.
I'm fully for networking, but it's the fact that these people create these cliques and that bring other people down that's my biggest problem.
Oh
So
Yeah.
yeah.
that they elevate themselves through eliminating their opposition just because they're all pandering to each other. That's the worst thing about it, in my opinion, is that it's not like they're just elevating themselves, they're actually hurting everyone around them.
Yeah.
No matter their talent or no matter their merit, no matter how hard these other people work, it's eliminating that process of being able to get there through hard work because you're not in the clique.
See, there's the type of person who's really high on himself and talks himself up and he's got a huge fucking ego, right? And sure, those guys are assholes, but they do their work. You know, they
Hmm.
built themselves that point. And then there's the people like you're talking about, the ones that tear down everybody else, but don't have a huge ego, so they're seen as very humble people, right? But
Hmm.
they're tearing everybody else down around them. That's either the result of a superiority complex or an inferiority complex. You know,
Hmm.
and you know, like in order, it's because, you know, like, and you know, to kind of take it a step further, when they're looking at it from that perspective, you know, it's just like they're so insecure about their own achievements and their own things like that that they have to look at people with like actual achievements and try to bring them down to their level, right? Sometimes it works, and obviously they have identified a system that works in doing so. And that's like this rules for radicals bullshit that I keep seeing.
Hmm.
You know?
I
I
Yeah.
actually
think,
found that very interesting. Like I was,
Oh,
like
it's
I watched,
insightful, definitely. Yeah.
yeah, I found that really interesting.
In much the same way that Machiavelli's The Prince
Hmm.
is insightful, you know? Like a lot of that stuff there is like dirty tricks and fucking, but it's very insightful. You know, it explains how a leader, like not how a good leader acts, but how an effective leader acts, right? And like, yeah, you got the whole school of dirty tricks, and you got like telling lies and not keeping your word, and it actually advocates for this kind of thing, right? But it doesn't, you know, it's not tasteful, but it doesn't make it incorrect. You know what I mean?
yeah, I
Does that
agree.
make sense? Yeah.
And I think what's most important for this is if you find yourself in a position where you're being brought down by these people, just call it out. Like, don't give in and go with them. Just call it out and make it aware, because now, especially with Gamergate and with all these people that are in such opposition to these cliques and this progressive mindset, then they will recognize your game. And what we do is, like, if the game looks good, then we'll be like, yeah, this is sweet, and spread it around.
Yeah, for sure. And
And
and we,
I've never seen Gamergate once like shit on a game unless it was like what's the one Brianna Wu made, which is just like they're still shitting on it not because she
Oh
made it,
fuck.
but they're shitting on it because it looks
Revolution 60.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're shitting on it because it looks like a low res awful PS1 game. So
M64,
Oh,
man.
it looks absolutely horrid. It looks
yeah,
Yeah.
hideous.
because there is like some people within that clique that make good games, like you were saying, Phil Fish, like terrible guy. Like I can't hate him enough, but like
Yeah,
Fez is
Calling
I
him
heard that
DJ
Fez
Fish.
was kind of fun though. I heard that Fez
yeah.
was fun. I
Fez?
like actually,
No, Fez is fun.
yeah, I
I
actually,
can't bring myself to play it because I can't stand the guy that much, but I did try a couple hours of it. And I'm like, this is good. And I hear these rumors about like him stealing certain ideas and whatever, but
Oh, really?
yeah, I can't confirm whether or not, but
yeah,
I know there's a lot of controversy. There's so much controversy around Fez, but I mean, at its core, what if you just played it blind, you would love it. And I know a lot of people, a lot of friends that don't pay attention to Gamergate and they just play games,
you know, it's
absolutely love Fez.
I got it on a Steam, no, a Humble Bundle. I got it on a Humble Bundle like 2 years ago
Yeah.
when I was at like the height of my Steam game collection obsession, right? And I never actually played it. Like I'd seen screenshots and I'd heard of it, of course, right? But like I'd never actually played it. And then what happened is what stopped me from actually playing it was when he did his first little shit fit about it. You know?
Yeah.
He made headlines because he was doing a little fucking knip shit. But yeah,
Yeah, I can't bring myself to support those people, but I already owned it by this point. So I'm like, all right, let's see what the hype's about. And then after playing it, I'm like, okay, I can't play it because I'm so irritated, but it is good. I'll give him that.
oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Has anyone actually played Brianna Wu's game? Like,
I-
where is it on? If it's on Steam, I'll give her a
It's
give her a
going
go.
to be
It's
on
supposed
Steam.
to be on Steam, but I don't know when.
I'll give it a review if you guys want, because I'm willing to put myself through really shitty games, because why the fuck not?
Hmm. Oh, that reminds me, I tried Gone Home like just 2 months ago, just for
How
the
was it?
laughs. Have you not played it? It's so bad.
It's a walking simulator.
Yeah, it's literally well, the biggest thing about gaming, to go totally off topic, that I hate the most is false advertising. And I saw advertisements for Gone Home way before I got into Gamergate, and I love horror games, and it looks like a horror game. It looks like you're entering this spooky house that's like super like 70s spooky, and I'm like, oh, is it gonna be haunted? I don't know. And it was like super secret, but they was very clear they're advertising themselves as like horror because it was super dark. You play it, and I don't know if I even want to spoil it, but it's not that at all.
It's not. It's not
It's
at all.
yeah.
Isn't it something about somebody came out as a lesbian and like?
Spoilers, but no, yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Whatever.
Oh, actually, if you're looking for something scary, look up Allison Road. It's basically
Oh, isn't that like? It's. I think I saw that. It's like a
pretty much an
clone
homage
of.
to PT.
Yeah.
Oh
They
yeah,
have
yeah.
the
I watched a
pre-alpha.
bit of this.
Yeah, it's fucking scary looking, man.
Hmm.
I want to play it
Yeah,
like
I
by
love,
myself and then pause every like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
absolutely love horror games,
Yeah.
which is why I was kind of excited for Gone Home, and then when I played it, I was just laughing my ass off over how progressive in San Francisco it is.
Oh, ridiculous.
What's this on our
What are you
screen?
doing? What
I'm
are
playing Agario, man. Just continue on. We're talking.
why are
Okay.
you, dude? Why are you? What?
You're gaming.
No, I'm not.
You were.
I was.
Oh, Felipe got me. Okay, all right.
Well,
Is that on stream right now?
Yeah,
I
that
think
is on the stream right now.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, all right. Never mind. Fuck it.
I think we can talk about like the final bits because we've gone so off
Yeah, yeah.
topic. The
Sorry,
final
we're
bits
going
of
off on a
the
lot of tangents here.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, Jamie, you take it off. What do you want to?
Well, I guess we can like wrap up the SPJ stuff, like the final moments. So let's see. We talked about the evacuation. We talked about the periscope. We talked about them getting together.
Oh, one thing I want to bring up. Whoever was in charge of the projector made Milo blue.
Oh, really?
Like, Q kept pointing it out to me because he was just like, yeah, Milo is being projected upon because the projector was pointed directly at Milo, and so like, and because he's got like platinum blonde hair, so I kept looking at him and I kept thinking, blue da ba dee da dum da, like, fucking just nuts. Anyways,
That shows your age.
I guess if we don't have anything else to discuss about the events itself, we can talk about the impacts it might have and how
we
it
should
will be
also
covered.
we should also bring up that new game by the developers of Hunipop.
Oh, yes. Do you
Yes.
want to do that now, or do you want
Yes,
to do
I
it?
haven't.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's do it now. But like, I haven't looked up on this, but it actually sounds like something I would play because I love Tycoon games.
Oh, okay. I watched the trailer, so I can talk about it a bit.
Yeah.
So
Was it
pretty
amazing?
much, bad timing because they have so many Gamergate supporters. But they announced during SPJ, the Honey Pop developers announced a new game, and what's it called? I think it's called Smut Peddler.
Smut
If I'm-
Peddler.
Oh
It's
no, no, it's
Such-
Honey.
it's like Porno Tycoon.
Yeah. And literally, you just manage cam girls and you run an office of them and you tell them like pretty much how to dress and it's like micromanagement and you can actually like see a graph of like what people are getting off to and
Oh my god.
adjust appropriately based on that. So it's like,
They're going.
40% are watching lesbian porn. We should get two of our gam girls together and have them do stuff. And that will
They're
get me a lot of money.
going to have a heyday with this one.
Well, if you watch the opening of the trailer,
Oh.
let me just read the opening. So the very
Okay.
first thing you see is trigger warning. If you're triggered by games that aren't done and still need a ton of work, you're about to have a real shit time.
That's awesome.
They know their fucking audience. Let me just say that.
Absolutely.
And just the thing I loved about Honey Pop, I haven't played it myself, but I watched a lot of it, and it's such a good game. And
I keep hearing that. Like, I really don't like puzzle games all that
Mhm.
much, but I love like the old Japanese visual novels back in the day,
okay,
right? Back in the late '90s.
You mean your
But-
dating sims?
What's that?
Your dating sims?
Oh, it was fucking totally, dude. That wasn't dating, man. That was straight up fucking hookups.
But the thing about Honey Pop is like even if you hate that the whole thing is about sleeping with women, even if you hate that you're asking girls what their cup size is and they answer and you dress
And the
them,
answer.
yeah, they just straight up answer, which is just hilarious. The thing is like the actual mechanics, the actual like puzzle mechanics, which literally every time you play the puzzle, it's you having sex with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I think it's once is like when you're on a date with them and you're getting them drunk and you're pretty much trying to win them over, and then the other time is when you're having sex with them. And like every time you do a match 3, they have orgasm sounds. But but like it's really good. It's really fun if you like those games, and it was just the best thing ever to see like super progressive reviewers. They shit on the game, they rip it apart, but they have to mention that the game's fun.
Yeah.
Like I've seen so many reviews where they just hate it so much, but then they're like, it's fun, those bastards. Like, and someone who like I've played a lot of Roller Coaster Tycoon as a kid, and
Oh,
this
yeah.
is what this reminds me of, just with cam girls, and oh, it looks so good. Like the micromanagement and like managing the girls, and I'm looking at the trailer right now.
You
I
should tweet me a link.
I'll post it in the YouTube chat. The
Somebody's
niche
got an
gamer
iPhone.
article.
Cool.
Oh, I don't think I can. Oh, I can't tweet. I
Oh,
can't message in the chat. So there's
no,
that.
you
What?
can't put links in
Oh,
the
okay.
YouTube chat is what it is.
Oh,
Okay. Well,
really?
everyone knows what
Yeah.
niche gamer is.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
go to
Niche
niche
Gamer has
gamer.
it. Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
nichegamer.com.
Okay, guys, go check out nichegamer.com for this game. Who I'm not even sure what the title is.
Be sure it's Honeycam Studio.
Honeycam Studio, or is it
Yeah.
Hooney or Honey,
I always
whatever?
heard honey. I
Okay.
like
All right.
I like the way honey sounds anyway. But
Well, Honey Pop.
um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I'm excited for this, and it looks way worse than Honey Pop ever was, which is great.
Oh
So,
well, hey, you know what? If like you're talking a pretty good game for them right now.
mhm.
And one of my most obsessive games back in the '90s was Transportation Tycoon. Right?
Transportation
With
Tycoon.
Transportation Tycoon, yeah, you could like basically you created a transportation company. You had to build roads connecting these like little towns, and the towns would like grow dynamically.
Okay, okay.
Right? And, like the more business you brought into the town, the more they would grow. And I used to make it my like goal in life to like make one of these towns grow to like tens of thousands of people. Right? It was a long process. The game was really slow, but but I had a lot of fun playing it. Right? So I like those micromanagement type games, like where you're actually like managing every aspect of something.
What I've always loved about these games, like Sims and the Roller Coaster Tycoons, is finding those things that they didn't plan for that are hilariously fun and sadistic. Like Roller
Yeah.
Coaster Tycoon, just having like roller coasters that lead to nowhere and murder people, or just
Yeah.
flicking and dragging people and drowning them. I hope there's something like this in Honeycam Studio that they didn't think of and that I can find. And I can't even think of ideas right now, but just I want
Oh man.
something awful that I can do that they did not intend for.
Oh, I just saw like the opening bit for the trailer, and all I saw was like a big purple dildo, and the music is awesome. I'm getting this game.
They need to talk to Mercedes and get her in that game.
I was thinking of like
Yeah.
talking to Anna
Oh,
Cherry because
just
she's
send
a
me
Yeah.
the
new
link.
girl, right? And just having a guest character, like people would love that.
Oh, totally. Like DLC.
Mhm.
I'd pay for fucking Mercedes and Anna fucking DLC for that.
Mhm. I would what I would pay for is parody versions of female video game characters.
Yeah, for
So
sure. Yeah,
so
yeah,
like instead of having Laura Croft, having Laura Boft or like Samus, we have Lamus or just something like that, but it just
yeah.
looks like them and it has like all their stereotypical traits and putting them in the game. I think people will go nuts for that.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
You
I'm
just
excited.
know. You know what was really funny is just like I remember at the beginning when Vivian James first started as a character,
Mhm.
everybody was so like protective over the character.
Oh yeah.
It was really weird. And then now we've got like because Anna Cherry is making a GamerGate porno, right?
She's
Or
she's done a few, I believe, in her own.
yeah, but she's actually got like Vivian James being like beaten and flogged and shit
Oh
while she's
god.
dressed up as Anita Serkis. And yeah, she tweeted something out. I think it was last week sometime.
Hmm.
Um, but now, but so like, but that would be a fun game though. I gotta say, you know, like, because what was that most recent one? Game Developer Tycoon, I think it was. Game Dev Tycoon.
In regards to what game?
It just came out like a couple years ago. It was like it's called Game Dev Tycoon, I think it's called.
Okay.
And it's a tycoon game where you're building video games.
Okay.
I like that game. I thought that game was a lot of fun.
There's a lot of games that are like this.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Hmm. Anyways,
yeah.
so let's carry on now. What were we talking about before we got sidetracked?
I guess before that, I was suggesting that we can talk about like just to wrap up the SPJ stuff before I guess we move on to questions or
Hmm.
something. We can say like how this will impact. Like, do you think because there was a lot of news trucks that were coming like when the bomb threats happened? Like, do you think this is
Yeah.
going to be covered pro Gamergate now finally? Like, are we actually going to have proper coverage? Because I know Game
Yes.
Diviner was talking to them and destroying narratives. I did see one guy tweet out.
Even Derek Smart said that like the first question he was asked when he was interviewed was like, did Gamergate do this? And he explained exactly what he said.
Mhm.
Like, why is that the first question you ask?
Yeah.
You know, did Girl Scouts do this? Like, if there's a bomb threat at a fucking Girl Scout fucking meetup, does that mean Girl Scouts did it?
Yeah, are we
Come on.
complete masochists and we love spending a ton of money on people to travel to Florida just to ruin it? Like, that doesn't really
Not
make a
just
lot of
that,
sense.
but like look at the wasted manpower. Like those police could have been out there actually keeping, drugs off the
Oh,
streets or some
hey,
shit.
GamePolitics.com put up an article on the SPJ Airplay evacuation.
Oh,
Oh
really?
yeah.
Same with Breitbart. Um,
Breitbart already put one up?
yep.
Oh, that
And
was quick. That must have not gone through the lawyers then.
who
I know
else?
Milo actually wrote on Breitbart everything he was wanting to say. So
Oh,
you,
okay.
you can actually go now and read everything he planned for, which he unfortunately was unable to go say.
Okay, cool. And there's a Miami meetup tonight too.
Yes.
They're all meeting up in Miami.
I wonder
So
if Koretsky will be there actually. That'd be
I
cool.
hope so. Because what I understand is if him and Campbell, buried the hatchet kind of thing, then we're good, right?
I'd like to see him in a more relaxed environment and just hanging out with drinks and
Yeah, for
talking to
sure.
people. That'd be really cool to see because everyone's seen him from this like really strict, stern point of view.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it probably, I don't know, just have him talk when he's drunk, I think would loosen a lot of people's ideas of him, which would be
yeah.
good. But yeah, I want to say I'm like feeling really positive about how this will be covered because like through the Periscope you saw so many people talking to reporters and
Oh
everything, and
my
with all
God,
the
yeah. They were
gamers
Yeah.
they were
finally.
like flooding that place. There was like at least three different crews that I saw,
hmm
right?
And I know I have one follower that actually follows me because he's a fan of the game I work on. He was telling me that he lives in Florida, and so far they haven't talked about it yet, but I asked him to keep me updated. Um,
Are you allowed to talk about the game you work on, or?
I can. It's not really private.
Oh,
So
okay. All right. Well, I didn't know. Yeah, I was just making sure.
yeah, no.
Chill.
Well,
Chill.
the game I work on is like a free to play multiplayer game, so it's not
Okay.
like it's live. Like you can go play
It's
it.
not Game of War, is it?
Game of War? No,
Okay. All right. Good.
it's MechWarrior Online, so it's free and you can go play it. It's free to play, and I just work on it because we give bi-weekly updates, so new maps and stuff like that. So
Mm.
yeah, so I'm obviously under NDA. I can't talk about like what I'm working on for it, but I can
Yeah.
just say I'm working on that game pretty much.
Okay,
So
sorry. I just want to address the chat here for a second. Subman brings up something that I totally agree with him on.
yeah,
And that he said he's kind of disappointing that a lot of the people in GG was assuming that the bomb threats were done by antis,
okay, yeah.
right? And I agree. I agree with him. That's disappointing to me too, because this is after a year of us getting blamed for everything the other side does, and then we're all of a sudden doing the same goddamn thing, right? That's
Mhm.
completely hypocritical in my point of view.
I'll admit
Right.
that like when it first happened, I think I made a tweet out that wasn't like directly antagonizing towards them, but it was something like I said something like we're not going to show up, but we're going to bomb it so we can silence you or something like that. But still, it's just like
Yeah.
I also tweeted out when Alder showed that Ghazi already condemned it, and there's just no proof. It's
No,
probably
absolutely
someone
not.
that hates Gamergate, or it's just a huge troll.
Or it's a huge third-party troll, as Mark Cheb put it, is getting his giggles by making people mad.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Like,
know,
we just don't know.
and like I would be more apt to say that that's most likely the case, just in terms of
Yeah.
my general gut feeling. I guess that's all I'm basing this off of is my gut feeling,
And I
right?
mean, as wacky as Ghazi can be, it is really cool to see them be proactive and be like, I condemn this, and then everyone comments, be like, yeah, that's bullshit, and all that.
Mhm.
It shows their humanity and shows that
Well,
they're.
like a lot of time we forget when we're in our online fucking war, essentially, with these people, is that they are just people and they're every bit as flawed as we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. If you know what, like, obviously, I disagree with a lot of the fucking bullshit they say, just like I disagree with a lot of the shit that fucking Westboro Baptist Church says.
It's
You
a good
know, but
comparison.
at
Wow,
the end of the
that's a
day,
good one.
they are still people and they are flawed, just like you or I.
hmm
Right. And like, there's one of the things that I really stand against is dehumanizing people. Right. Because like we know, because we've seen people like, oh, gamer scum needs to be drowned at birth, or like, fucking shit like that. We've seen that for the past year, right?
hmm
It's not fucking good. It's not good to fucking just toss that back in the other direction, because that's already exactly what they're doing. It's keeping the pendulum swinging. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They're already doing that to us. they're tossing shit in our direction, and we're just tossing it right back, and fucking it's just gonna keep getting tossed back and forth over that fucking, like that little comic. Remember there's that comic that came out a little while ago. It's like a feminist, and she's shoveling bullshit over a wall called the internet.
Yeah.
And it comes back against her.
And she's like, patriarchy.
Patriarchy. You know.
I can speak from personal experience at any time. I've had a few friends come to me and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about on Facebook? Like, what is this? And I'm like, all right, first off, like I always say, I'm biased because I'm pro this, and I link them stuff, and I always link them Ghazi, and I always link them other sources, and I'm like, here's what I agree on, but I recommend you see this too, just so I'm not feeding you one side of an argument. And I mean, I've never had somebody be like, yeah, you're like, that I consider a friend that asked me what it was. I've never had anyone disagree with me on it, but I want them to be aware of what the other side's saying, and I want them to,
for sure.
I don't want to preach. I want to.
You know, on a side note, I was laughing my ass off last week there because all my coworkers, they all have Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all on Facebook when they should not be on Facebook. So I'm like, come on, guys, right?
Mm.
But one of my coworkers, he was scrolling down his news feed, and I saw a picture of Anita Sarkeesian. I'm like, wait, stop! What is that? And it's like it's a meme where she's like holding a bunch of Christmas lights, and it says,
"The patriarchy."
I bet the patriarchy did this, right? and it was posted by another one of my coworkers. And none of them had any idea who she was. So it's funny that meme is going around to the normies, and they have no idea who she is, right? So to me, that's hilarious. To the normies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We want to do an episode talking to normies.
Talking to normies?
Yeah.
Well, I have plenty that'd probably be willing to come on.
Really?
Absolutely.
I have a couple of friends that are totally on the normie end of things.
I have no friends.
You have no friends that'd be willing to come on.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, even my girlfriend's pretty normal on it, even though she's hearing this all.
She's familiar with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'd like to get somebody who has no idea. No idea, right?
Oh,
I've got a few.
And then just feed them quotes from some of the shit going on and see which one they like more.
We'll play a game. Is it Hitler or a games journalist?
I saw that Sargon played that game where it's like, is it SJW or Stormfront?
Stormfront or SJW?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Actually, I got an article coming out on Black Trident Media in a couple days here that pretty much shoves a big fucking middle finger at Stormfront. So
oh, that's awesome.
We'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But what's it? Yeah, Jessica's asking, am I one?
What's that? Am I one? What, a normie?
Oh yeah,
I think remember Stormfront?
Oh, what a storm! Oh, it's Stormfront.
Oh, she doesn't listen that much. It's okay.
Oh yeah, she tunes me out. So.
I know, but you know what? I've totally tuned out ex-girlfriends too. So you know we're just as good at tuning out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
I wouldn't say she's a normie even. Like anytime she goes on Twitter, which is rare, she's just the ultimate troll, and it's hilarious. The shit she says, it's brilliant.
Well, that's what Twitter. Like, here's the thing: there's two things that Twitter's good for, right? And that's arguing with strangers over the internet in a very fucking inefficient way, and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it. Spreading information, essentially, spam, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and those are the only two things that I think Twitter is good for. But you know what? It's addictive. It's because it's short, it's quick, and you can argue back and forth for 3 hours.
Constant information feed. It's definitely yeah.
Especially if you use TweetDeck, where I've got like 6 columns open.
Oh god.
Yeah. And one of them's empty, so I'm just getting rid of that one. Okay. Oh, Aaron Joni, what's going on? Aaron Joni, there's got to be a punny. Okay, never mind. Forget it. He's sharing rom-com ideas on Twitter. He's got an idea for a romantic comedy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
But yeah, so like the direction of like Gamergate going forward, I think like overall it's not going to change that much. There's still going to be shit posters. There's nothing you can do to get rid of the shit posters. I don't think there's anything you should do to get rid of the shit posters.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just one of those like swords edge kind of things that, even if you don't like it, just fucking deal with it. Whatever,
Mhm.
man. People are letting off steam a lot of the time, and a lot, and I think a lot of our quote unquote harassment is just people letting off steam. You know?
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's in a positive way as well. Like a lot
Yeah.
of us don't just like
We,
get
we,
angry and
we
rage.
yeah, we don't say that these people need to be gassed. You know?
Yeah,
That's
unlike
one thing
some
I have
people.
noticed, that we don't do that when we vent.
Hmm.
You know?
Can't be said for everyone.
Can't be said for everybody.
I forgot about that guy.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Gamergate needs to be gassed. Or fucking or the other guy who he thought it'd be funny to play like poke the dead body of white men who hung themselves or some shit like that.
I
And
know
this guy
Arthur Chu said something like, "I wish I could like grab the
walk
hands
arm in
of all."
arm,
Yeah,
yeah, and walk off of a cliff, yeah,
it's,
of my entire gender.
it's
Like,
like, all right, you go
okay,
first. I'll
like
follow.
it's funny because I absolutely hate, like, I despise the term mangina.
Yeah.
I think it is the most like childish fucking thing you can call somebody. It's just like, come on, what point are you making with that, right? I don't mind the term white knight because I actually have come across this,
Oh yeah.
but but I would totally call Arthur Chu a mangina. Just saying,
It's just so pathetic. I just
just saying.
all those guys that like just pander and try so hard. Airport slaw, you know what I mean? It's
There's some goony beard man
yeah,
hoping a rainbow-haired she twink will let him come in her. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh shit! Did I just say that on stream? Okay. All right. You get a free pass, Ro.
You
Thank
can
you.
say anything you want for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Really? Am I no longer oppressed? Because I'll just go off. It'll
um.
be very
You know
messy.
what? We're gonna keep oppressing you for a little bit while because I know what you can. This guy is in the Navy, man. He can fucking or was or whatever. He can swear. He can definitely
Yeah.
swear.
Oh no, I'll say stuff without swearing, but
Well, no, he doesn't need. You don't need to swear. It's how you describe things that is like epically. What is the dirt squirt?
yeah.
Oh
Well, I
no,
can I can
no.
go into
Oh no, this conversation again. We're gonna have
yeah,
to
I'll,
get
I'll
really
talk about blue
dirty.
noodles all day. But anyways, going back to that, like,
Yeah.
what I want to find out is like, what happens after this? Now that someone from NBC was, well, what's her fucking name?
Well, she's gonna write a story about it.
Well,
Obviously,
yeah.
they got a bomb threat.
Well, that's the thing, and obviously there were media outlets from Miami there, right? Now,
And not just Miami. It was the Society of Professional Journalists. It was like the number
exactly.
one
And now, what
stupidest
direction is it going to
place.
take, though, right? What
Yeah,
direction is it going to go?
yeah,
Because they're gonna have to try and find out like where to place the blame for this.
absolutely. And you know what and you know what the scary thought is? And I thought about this earlier, is that I hate and this is no way a suggestion that the person behind this bomb threat was Gamergate, but it definitely does work to our benefit, right?
Mhm.
However,
We can
it
hope.
worked. What's that?
Well, we can hope that it'll work to our benefit
Yeah,
because I mean they
we
could be
don't
so
know.
ignorant.
Well, it might work to our benefit. I'll put it that way instead, right? And it did give me the very uncomfortable thought that what if it was one of us behind that, right?
I've thought that before
Yeah,
with previous ones that it's like, what if somebody thinks he's supporting us by doing that? And I
yeah.
don't know.
And in which case, absolutely, if he's ever outed and if we ever discover who it is, I'll be one of the fucking first people in line to condemn that fucking shit.
Yeah,
I do not
absolutely.
stand by that. That's
I'd
fucking bullshit.
I'd make one comment denouncing him and then never talk about him again because
Oh
that would
fuck.
defeat it. So,
No, that's a stupid fucking way to go about this, right? Like, and plus, the thing is that we were just getting to the point in that second half where things were starting to chill out and people were actually saying like reasonable and smart things again.
we're actually getting somewhere
We
instead
were
of
Well, the
just
getting
first
having
somewhere.
hour
like
that was
constant
going, so
fights.
Yeah, it was a lot of fucking back and forth and interruptions and fucking, this is not what we're about, and fucking, and Koretsky taking the wind out of fucking
Milo.
Milo sales, you know,
Hmm.
yeah, I
and
mean,
and furries being explained to Christina Hoffsummers. That was the best.
yeah.
Anyways, yeah,
Well, most of it's just like I'm really curious, like what direction the media is going to come at this from. Because if they try and go against all the other narratives that have already been established about Gamergate, uh, basically toward like supporting the antis. Like
Hmm.
how are they going to like try and save their own face, right? It's
Well,
going to come down to their own reputations. Because if this stuff just comes out and it was already known like previously,
yeah. Well, we've known from the beginning that we're not a hate movement.
we have, but that's
Yeah,
not how we've been portrayed, right?
exactly. But yeah, the way I looked at it is that the fucking the KKK, they know that they're a hate movement. They admit to being racist.
It's a
They're just not
badge
ashamed
of
of it.
honor, pretty much.
Yeah, they're just not ashamed of it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas we're like, no, we're not a hate movement,
Yeah.
you know. Um, but we're also not ashamed of our views. But we're very clear, like, no, we're not racist. And I hate that saying that I'm not racist makes you appear more racist. That's the stupidest fucking thing.
Well, I mean, we have proof that we're not racist or sexist because, I mean, most of the people, a lot of them,
As
I'd
a
say,
as a, as a community, we're not, but there are
yeah.
definitely individuals who are.
Oh, I can't be racist because I'm brown.
Yeah,
Fuckers.
yeah.
Yeah.
See,
White cis scum.
But I mean, most of the people I follow in Gamergate are probably women, just probably a slight majority. So it's like, well, I mean, how could I follow them if I was? I don't know. We've discussed this so much, like over the
Yeah.
past nearly year. So I'm
yeah,
just hoping that this finally brings truth to it, and finally we have more people that are, at the front of it. Like I know NBC is probably going to
Yeah.
say something, and just more actual televised reporters
I'm
talking
actually
about
curious
us in a
about
different
what the
light.
Young Turks are going to say if they actually report on this. I want to see that. I don't know
Mm.
why.
I don't watch them a lot. I pretty much only hear about them from Sargon. Have they commented on Gamergate before?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
yeah,
Okay.
see, the problem I had is like from the beginning, I honestly didn't care if mainstream media did want to cover us. I wasn't that like, oh my god, I want attention. Gamergate needs attention from mainstream sources. I didn't care. Okay, to me, it was just at that level, it was just an internet argument,
Hmm.
right? But then when what was it? The Wall Street Journal, I think it was, came out with the Anita Sarkeesian bomb threat by Gamergate fucking bullshit. Then
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second, no, 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 no. There's no proof that that was us. We honestly Gamergate is an amorphous movement. We're operating under a hashtag essentially, right?
Hmm.
I don't even like to call it a movement, honestly. I like to call it a subculture, right? But even then, there are names that we recognize. We see Twitter handles fly by, and to the person on the outside looking in, it's all a mess. But like for instance, most people know who I'm talking about when I say Margaret Gell,
Hmm.
right? Or Deadwing Duck.
yeah.
Most people know who I'm talking about. Oliver Campbell. Most people know who I'm talking about, right? So you definitely get this familiarity with the community from an internal kind of standpoint, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yep.
Yeah, you know. But it was actually funny earlier. It was watching the antis tweeting about SPJ.
I didn't see a lot of that. I mean, it was so flooded with us that I
Yeah,
didn't
oh
really
yeah.
see any comments
Well, there was
from
Super
them.
Space Dad. I think Butts got involved somehow,
Oh, of
some way.
course.
And she said that we sent the bomb threat to
Yeah,
ourselves,
yeah.
which, well, once again, we don't know. We don't know how it happened, and if it's ever discovered, who put it, who was behind it. I will be first in line to fucking condemn that person because that's bullshit.
Uh, by the way, just to interject, it looks like GG in Miami is actually just happening right now.
Oh,
So if
really?
anyone,
Okay,
if
yeah.
anyone wants to check out hashtag GG in Miami, you can see all the people from earlier hanging out, and hopefully they won't get any more bomb threats. So
Hopefully.
yeah.
Actually, I think they're supposed to be having a stream from the event too, so I want to check that out after ours. Which
Mhm.
is brings me to the next point. We're gonna try cutting this off before 5 o'clock,
Okay.
um, because Well, I think Jamie needs to go somewhere, and I think
I
I'm
have
a.
two birthdays to go to,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
so tired already.
Oh God, enjoy that. And then Ro and I want to have some ribs, so
Very jealous.
Yeah.
ribs.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you guys want to do the shilling? Should we do that every episode? I don't know if we
Yeah,
really
let's do some
decided.
shilling. Let's do some shilling. You
I know other
can,
ones like shill every single time, so
yeah, shill the game you're working on there, Jamie. Shill that.
I guess I don't like directly tying myself to my
Oh,
game.
okay. Well, that's fair. That's fair. If you don't want to, that's fine.
I mean, some people follow me because it is my real name and stuff, and
Mhm.
they just find me, and I'm like, oh God, I hope you're cool, and so luckily they'll have. But I mean, yeah, if you guys like robots fighting robots, you can go play MechWarrior Online. It's free to play. You just download it. It's I mean,
Are
I'm
you,
super biased, but it's not. There's not really a game like it. The
I,
game probably to compare it to the most would be World of Tanks because it's very slow moving. You got to customize your mech in the same way. You have to have the right amount of weapons and heat sinks and engines. So
how close is it to MechWarrior 2?
MechWarrior 2. I never played Mech. Wait. Oh no, I did play MechWarrior 2. That
Is it
was
the
the
same
one.
company? Like,
No, 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 no.
okay.
This is our first time working on a MechWarrior game, and it's been
Oh, okay.
gone for a while. So it's got like the same kind of first-person shootery mechanics, but it moves like a tank. That's why I compare it to a modern World of Tanks. It's the big difference is that it's free to play, so that there's microtransactions in it, as you can imagine. So, um, yeah, yeah. That's if you
Okay.
want to try it. If you like robots, there's not really a game like it, so I
All
would
right.
go recommend it. And then, yeah, that's
And
pretty
then
much it. If you want to
how,
follow me on, sorry.
I was just about to ask how would somebody follow you on Twitter?
Oh, okay. We're on the same mindset.
We're on
So
the same
my Twitter
page.
handle is at Korig, so Korig. And then if I want to like do the triple shill, there's also a link to my Twitch channel, which I occasionally stream on. So there you go.
What do you stream?
I haven't streamed in like a month because I've been super busy, but I'm hoping to get back into it soon. So I've just been streaming whatever I feel like. My favorite thing I streamed actually was I think it was called the Dev Story because I had no idea what the game was going to be like, and it was just a free game on Steam. So I'm like, let's try this. And I had a few
Okay.
people in the chat, and then it got a little borderline hentai, and I was just like super uncomfortable playing it. So
Uh-oh,
that's
I better stop this.
well, I didn't know how far it'd go, so it's like, let's see how far this rabbit hole will go. It's just yeah, it gets funny. So yeah,
All
that's pretty much
right. All right, all right. So I guess me next here. My name is EJ Spurl. You can follow me on Twitter at either Black Trident TV or EJ Spurl. I run a blog called Black Trident Media. Are you seeing a theme yet? You know, it's that big logo that's on the screen. I actually have a tattoo of this too. So I mean,
Oh, are you serious?
oh
Oh,
yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah,
that's great.
yeah, yeah. You've seen the tattoo, yeah. Yeah. I've had like this symbol has meant a lot to me throughout my life. I kind of came up with it when I was really into Greek mythology. So it's
Hmm.
actually Poseidon's trident, but
Oh, cool.
it's kind of stylized a little bit more. It's got kind of like a blade kind of activity going on. Anyways, I'll get into what it actually means another time. Continuing on, yeah. So check out Black Trident Media. It is my blog. Well, it's not just my blog. There are other authors on it as well. Some of them are a little bit more controversial than I. That's pretty much all I can say about. Oh yeah, and if any of you are into fantasy or sci-fi, I am a published author, and I have posted the first couple of chapters of my first novel on Black Trident Media. It's called Children of the Halo. You can actually click at it right at the top of the fucking screen there, Children of the Halo. You can either purchase it or you can read the first couple chapters online for free, and I will be posting chapters over the next year, completing the whole book. I eventually will have the entire book up on the blog to read for free.
Hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So, Ro.
Oh, I don't have anything to shill.
Not yet, anyways. You
Yeah, I
will.
know. Well, I'm busy. Well, I will as soon as I'm done this fucking job, and
Yeah.
I can start putting out my shit.
Yeah.
But right now, you can follow me on Twitter at ROEVERM, so Rover M.
Rover.
And yeah, there's gonna be stuff to follow, like not anytime soon, probably like next year. And I just can't do anything like legit until I clear up my job. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
sucks, but whatever. Pays
It
my bills.
happens. It happens.
And
And
yeah, that's
then
about it. I'll
okay.
probably put more shit out when I can.
And absent today was Aldershot. Unfortunately, he could not make it. He was absolutely exhausted today, so he could not make it.
He toughed it out for the whole
SPJ.
SPJ,
Yeah, he toughed it
but
out for SPJ, but he couldn't hack it. I think he was up all night.
yeah, he got like 2 hours sleep, and then it was like,
Yeah.
it's SPJ, gotta watch it. So
Yeah. He operated on the assumption that he was gonna he was gonna just stay up all night, watch SPJ, and then do this, and then go to sleep. I work graveyard shifts. I do that schedule once a week, so I'm used to it. But I know how hard it is for people. So
I bought energy drinks preparing myself.
I had
I knew I was gonna be exhausted. So.
I had 2 nuclear corn syrups today too myself. So
Nuclear corn syrup.
What the fuck is that?
Monster.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought that was like some weird hippie drink that you got out in the Fernhood there.
Fernwood.
Yep.
Oh, somebody asked us if there's going to be another one of these in a week or two.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, yeah, Dolor. Stream punks, I do want to make into a regular thing. This one was more discussion oriented, so it was lots of back and forth and going off on tangents. I do want to have a much more structured, kind of almost like.
You keep saying that, man.
What's that?
You keep saying that.
I keep saying what?
That you want to structure a bit more, but it always turns into a gong show.
It does, but you know what? I'd rather come at it from the perspective that I want it structured and then have it turned into a gong show than start as a gong show.
Gong shows are never unfun, though. Gong shows are always great, so I don't care.
This is true, especially if it's an entertaining gong show, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, so that's the idea. So I do want to have another Stream Punks in the near future. And actually, Dolor, I think you're very local to me, too. Yeah. You should meet up with the local crowd. Because I think a lot of the GG people in Victoria now kind of like all know each other in person, so we're kind of starting to hang out.
That's super cool.
I'm not.
That's pretty cool. Well, you've known me since before GG, so I mean,
I'm antisocial as shit.
yeah, yeah. He's always the one calling me to come out, so that's how antisocial he is.
Oh,
yeah. All right. Okay, so beyond that, guys, we're gonna cut this stream down, and in a couple of weeks, maybe what we'll say. Hold on, I'm just looking at the map here.
August 29th?
Yeah, we'll say the weekend of the 29th, 30th. It'll either be Saturday or Sunday. We will figure that out as people are available, because sometimes we're not available on Saturdays, sometimes we're not available on Sundays. You know, and we want to get as many of the main crowd in here as possible. So that's basically me, Jamie, Rowe, and Aldershot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then we want to start getting, bringing some outside guests. We did ask Lauren Southern to join us this weekend. Unfortunately, she was unable to get back to me. She said that she'd love to, but she did not get back from Edmonton in time, I believe, is what happened. She didn't actually get back to me, unfortunately. But so hopefully in the near future we'll be having her on a show. I am planning on asking a couple of the honey badgers to come on a show with us.
That'd be great.
So we're actually gonna start like expanding a little bit more and actually having think of like similar to the Drunken Peasants, except without an annoying TJ. Because honestly, I find TJ really annoying.
I don't watch it, so I don't know. I'll just take your word for it. I watch like one podcast and that's it, because it's like 4 hours long.
Oh yeah, they're all like a couple hours long, right? But yeah, but they watch a lot of videos and they do commentary on these videos and stuff like that. That's kind of like the what I'd like to start doing,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more if I can ever figure out how to do that with our screen sharing and shit. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, so we're gonna shut this down. It's 4:58 now. And I think that's it. So say your goodbyes, guys.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. You're awesome. I need a nap, but I don't have any time for it, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
You're going to go drinking is what you're going to do, and you're going to be a fucking trooper, and you're going to go. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're a trooper. You can do it.
Thanks a lot for sticking around, and remember, give her a nice slop shot to the face.
Jesus Christ.